Project Parking addresses typical editing facility problems and challenges when managing infrastructure whereby edit storage is always full and constantly running out of space. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but needs to be managed. Editing storage is very expensive, and for good reason, as it guarantees playback and performance, where media utilization and frequency of use is difficult to manage. A need to transfer a project to another site, where consolidating at the project level is a manual process. And a need to secure a snapshot of the project, where efficient snapshotting of the project is difficult to manage. Project Parking provides a process to analyze all the files and all the projects and collate a list of media references, search all media workspaces to find all media and collate a list of its key metadata, create an SQL database of these two tables and link the corresponding relationship between them, present key statistics in a format that reveals how storage is used and by what, and from statistics, select media or projects to archive, consolidate or delete. Project Parking consolidates Avid media assets and non-media assets into a single project archive that can be restored in the future by either Project Parking or independently to Project Parking. This would include all relevant sequences, bins, MXF media, AMA, and non-Avid media referenced or used for the project. Project Parking provides tools to take action and optimize your editing shared storage by providing the ability to archive project files or all associated media to a nearline or offline storage or archives only some bins. Transfer all of the project media files to a single workspace, ensuring there is none on the local drives. Sweep all media files that are not referenced by any active project to a special orphans workspace for deletion. Move project files to an attic folder and move its exclusive media offline. And restore projects or project bins and media from an archive to an active workspace or restore only some bins. Project Parking for a front porch DIVArchive allows you to archive and restore whole projects, all the bins, sequences and media files, or only bins that are important. When using the DIVArchive plugin, operations will behave in a similar manner as the archives based on standard disk storage. In the case of DIVArchive, rather than using a local disk storage, Project Parking will connect into the DIVArchive system and exchange projects archives with DIVArchive. As Project Parking is integrated with the DIVArchive system, there are some areas within the DIVArchive configuration that will need to be completed and checked before Project Parking will be able to pass any media. The media workflow used by DIVArchive will exchange projects via a staging area that is visible to both Project Parking application and the DIVArchive system. Project archives will be copied to the staging area before being processed by DIVArchive. Project restores will be restored to the staging area by DIVArchive after a request from Project Parking, before then being moved back into Avid by Project Parking. All projects are held within the DIVArchive as a tar archive file. Therefore, additional versions of the same project will take full snapshot of the project, including the media. In this demonstration, we're going to go through setting up a connection to the Front Porch Digital DIVArchive, creating an archive, and how to restore projects. First, we'll need to install the Front Porch Digital Archive plugin by double-clicking on the Project Parking installation. Press Next. You've probably installed Project Parking already and therefore press Change. Press the Front Porch Digital DIVArchive button and select Will be installed on your local drive and press Next. To confirm the change, press Change and this will install the DIVArchive plugin. After installing the plugin, select the Configuration button to the lower right-hand corner of the screen contained in the status area. This will open the following configuration dialog. Project Parking can archive directly to DIVArchive, and most of this configuration is related to the staging area, into which Project Parking will write temporary files and from which DIVArchive will archive. As a prerequisite, you must make available a staging area for Project Parking to write temporary files prior to archiving by DIVArchive. The temporary files are deleted once an archive is complete. The staging area must be accessible to both DIVArchive actors and the PC running Project Parking large enough to hold the maximum size of any archives that may be performed simultaneously. If enough space is available on one of the DIVArchive servers, then the staging area may be placed directly there. Select the Archive Locations tab to show the following screen. Select Add Location to configure the new storage, showing the following dialog. Select Front Porch Digital DIVArchive to open the configuration options for the storage. Within the Connection section, define the name. The name is the descriptive name for the archive connection that will be used within Project Parking. Define the server address as this is used to communicate to the running Diva Web Service API. We're going to add an IP address. Define a server port of the Diva Web Service, and in this case it will be 9763. Within the Parameters section, define the category which will appear in the Diva listing when doing a restore and may be used to define rules of behavior. In this case, this will be defined as the DIVArchive. As a single category is used per connection, Project Parking can be configured to have multiple DIVArchive destinations that map to different categories. Press refresh to obtain a list of available configurations. Select the source name, and in this case we're going to change it to disk. The source name maps to the DIVArchive configuration of the same name and is set from a drop-down list of options returned from DIVArchive. This will instruct Project Parking what location to use for the staging area. Select the media name, and in this case change to storage on disk. The name describes the behavior of the content once it's been sent to DIVArchive and is sent from the drop-down list options returned from the DIVArchive. Project Parking will subsequently use the provided config to communicate to the DIVArchive directly. Once the DIVArchive has been configured, within Project Parking the user can start to archive and restore Avid projects. Save before leaving the configuration dialog. It is important to save before leaving the configuration dialog, as you'll lose all your settings otherwise. Project Parking will automatically show any Avid projects held on the local machine within the standard Avid, private and shared folders. Other project locations can be added to the application within the configuration. Please refer to the configuration section for more details. Projects should be closed within Media Composer before starting an archive or restore. To archive a project, select the Kite Festival project in the list shown and press the Archive button. This will open the Archive Details dialog. From this dialog we can choose the bins we'd like to archive and the destination where we'd like to send the content to. Select the DIVArchive archive location to send the project to the storage. From the other options in this dialog, it is also possible to select alternate resolutions. Enabling this option will instruct Project Parking to search for alternate resolutions of the media referenced by the current project and include this content in the archive, for example, proxy content. Pause after analysis. This will instruct Project Parking to pause after the initial analysis of the project, checking for reference media and reporting on the project size and missing media. We can watch the progress of the archive in the Activity tab. Once the project analysis has been completed, you can review the archive report. If you are fine with the report, you can press Archive to start the archive, and this will archive the project to a defined staging area. To restore the project, go to the Archive and Restore tab. Select the DIVArchive archive and press Restore. A query dialog will be displayed. The search criteria can be entered, including object name, the category as defined in the original archive destination configuration, or the active date range of the archive. In this case, I'm just going to use star object name to retrieve all available archives using the DIVArchive category. Press Query DIVArchive and the results of the search will be shown on the right of the window. Select the required project and press Restore. As the projects are held in tar files within Diva, the first action called is the Diva restore of the tar from the archive into the staging area. Once in the staging area, Project Parking will open up the tar file for you to access the project. Once the restore details have been obtained, select which of the various bins you would like to include. I'm just going to restore all the bins as we are effectively restoring the complete project. Select where you are going to restore to and the mapping of the workspaces. Press Start to restore the complete project. Again, the progress of the restore can be viewed in the Activity tab. You will see that Restore Summary Report shows that there is no media restored, just project information. This is because the restoration process only restores media that doesn't exist on the target workspace. Project Parking for a Front Porch Digital DIVArchive allows you to archive and restore whole projects, all bins, sequences and media files, or only archive the bins that are important. During this section we showed setting up the DIVArchive archive location and configuration, archiving to DIVArchive, and restoring from a DIVArchive.